The Replicator is a mid-round antagonist heavily based off the Bingle from Goob Stations, which is also a mid-round antagonist. This is currently unique to Imp Station, which is a private server. And no, making a grinder account won't get you on Imp Station. That's just how you date men. The first replicator is also referred to as the Queen Replicator. You have a harm mode. You are a very floaty sentinel robot type thing, and your one gadget you have is a ranged stun prod that also can act as a melee weapon if you right click with it. It's not very good, it doesn't stun very well, you are pretty weak as this little replicator. Your other abilities are a thermal vision. You can just toggle this. Great sound effect, by the way. Also, just I have to appreciate the sprite work on this. If you turn on harm mode, you start having these glowing lights. Also, again, like the Bingle got the red eyes, but this is definitely more aesthetic. The Bingle's a lot more memey. Different servers, different cultures for sure. And your third action is you get to view your laws. Your fourth action, well, it's a scream, and it's the cyborg hellish scream. And finally, your final action is to place the hive, and that's like the Bingle hole. This is your nest. So your laws are to preserve the hive, defend the nest, replicate. You need to first place this hive. And after placing it, you will just have this basic hole in the ground that is a replicator nest, and again, very similar to the Bingle hole. Also, the normal replicator is small enough that I guess you float under doors or can squeeze under the doors, even though they're airlocks. Either way, you technically can go through doors as these, even though you have no access. Otherwise, you would get stuck wherever you spawn. You also have a pinpointer that locates you back to the nest in case you just forgot or don't know a station very well. Very helpful to have. In the beginning, there's not really much you can do other than drag small objects into the hole. Even bigger things like a toolbox can be harder to drag. Trying to move a whole crate, you might as well not even try. However, something I noticed, since you have hands, you can actually split things. So you need about 40 small objects dragged into the hole to upgrade it, and upgrading it will spawn in more replicators. Well, actually, the replicators spawn in more frequently than the upgrades, but you need a specific amount of points as well to get your own upgrades. But things like cables can stack up to 30, and if you just alt-click them, you can actually split the stacks, and this can make dragging things in very easy, because then if you did this right, you could just stand right here and just click drag things in. But either way, I'm just going to spawn things in to upgrade the hull. You get the point. After the hull upgrades, this is where the replicators split off from Bingles heavily. You have two options to upgrade into. You can upgrade into a defender, which has a better stun weapon and a melee weapon, or a deconstructor, which will have tools and you can use those tools as weapons. Both of these change your current movement. You no longer are this floaty thing, you now turn into just a normal moving object. You can't squeeze under doors, those have all access, but you can't access anywhere that is locked, so like no maintenance, and obviously no departments. So you need to then use your tools if you're a deconstructor to get through things, and if you're the defender, it could definitely be a little bit harder to move around, but you're supposed to be fighting people, not trying to tear through walls. However, since you get an Omni tool and a welding tool as a deconstructor, you can take things like walls apart, and with these walls you can then drag them into the hole, and it seems like bigger objects give more points to the hole. You can also use this as an opportunity to break into places to get more things to throw in the hole. You can space rooms very easily. Since it's an experimental welder, you have infinite fuel. You can use it as a moderate weapon. I'm not going to cover stats too much on these mobs. They're obviously still subject to change. It's on a server that a lot of people can't really play on, so their numbers aren't really what matters. It's going to change, so why make more info on stuff that is going to be out of date? Also, as I mentioned earlier, you will get more replicators as ghost rolls as you drag things in. You are a snowball horde antagonist. I know I'm currently by myself, but this is just a showcase. So now we are a tier 2 bot. All the new bots that come out are going to be tier 1, but they can also upgrade when the hull upgrades, so you can get higher tier bots over time. Now we're just going to keep upgrading it into what is technically the final stage, is these big replicator nest. Now you can technically drag people in, but in my own testing, I haven't been able to do it, but in the videos and the demonstrations I was shown by the creator, you definitely can drag people in. I don't know why I can't get it to work, but at this stage, you are, this is as big as the hull gets, and you have one final upgrade, and you turn into a protector. This thing is fairly fast, it is pretty damn tanky, and it has a very strong damaging arm. It does 15 blunt, 10 shock, and 45 structural, so you can break through doors and walls pretty easy, no longer really need to deconstruct them. And the most unique feature of this one is this is the only one of them that can actually talk, but you talk through this verbal interface and AAC tablet. So you do have access to binary, but you can't seemingly talk in binary over this tablet. Otherwise, you can't really communicate with each other. You just say beeps and boops. But this one can communicate. It has basic phrases. So, like, you have things, auto phrases like defend the nest. If you click that, it'll automatically put it in chat. You can also click combine to have more complicated terms. So you could say, like, hazardous east or something. Uh, I am in danger. Like, there's great combinations you could do. You can even type in things like I am if you were just trying to look for it. There's also categories of how to communicate. But overall, that is pretty much the general antagonist. The station has to kill all the replicators, protectors, the great replicator family. They have to destroy the whole. And to avoid my usual splurging into extra information you don't care about and numbers that are going to change anyway, my favorite things about this is that this is Bingles with a more serious sprite work. The extra mobs and mechanics look great. I like the fact that you're rewarded for staying alive longer for more tiers. There's 3 tiers where Bingles like upgrade once. Maybe it's changed. I haven't kept up with Goob in my to be completely honest with you. But they look great. The thermal vision obviously great. The sound effects are great. The sound of the hole is great. The mobs are great. Hopefully, we'll see this on other servers outside of Imp, like Cosmic Cultist did spread outside of Imp, so probably wouldn't be too surprising to see this outside of Imp in the near future. There's still active work being done on it. Big thanks to the creator for pointing me to this great antagonist. I would never have known about it otherwise, and thank you for watching.